All right, let's dive in. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a tool that is an absolute powerhouse in modern software development, gitlab-ci. We're going to break down how it works, why it's so incredibly popular, and how you can use it to put your entire workflow on autopilot, from code all the way to the cloud. Okay, just picture this for a second. You finish writing a new feature, you push your code, and that's it. You lean back, and automated system just kicks in, builds your entire application, runs every single test you can think of, and, if it all looks good, deploys it straight to your users. That's not some far-off dream. That is exactly the promise of CI/CD. So there are a lot of CI/CD tools out there, right? Why are so many developers and huge companies choosing GitLab? Well, it really boils down to one big idea. It's an all-in-one platform. Instead of trying to glue together 5 or 6 different tools, GitLab gives you a single, unified place for your entire development lifecycle.
And here's the secret sauce. The CI/CD part isn't some add-on they bolted on later. No, it's native. It lives right next to your code, your issue tracker, and even your security scanning tools. Having everything that tightly integrated is an absolute game changer, especially for big companies where you need things to be consistent and super secure.
You know, the best way to really get a grip on GitLab's CI/CD is to think of it as a digital assembly line for your code. Every time you commit a change, it's like you're putting a new part on the conveyor belt, and the pipeline takes it through all the automated steps to create a finished product.
So at the highest level, you have the pipeline. That's the whole shebang. It's the entire process from the very start to the very finish. It contains every single step you need to get your code from your laptop into production.
Now that big assembly line is broken down into major stages. In GitLab, we call these stages. Think of them as logical phases, like build, then test, and then deploy. And what's really crucial here is that stages run in sequence, one after another. The test stage won't even think about starting until the build stage is 100% successful.
And inside each of those stages, you have the actual tasks. These are called jobs. So for example, your test stage might have a bunch of jobs running all at once. One for unit tests, another for integration tests, maybe a third for checking code quality. And this is the key to speed. All the jobs inside the same stage can run in parallel.
So let's recap that structure real quick. You have one pipeline, which is made of multiple stages that run in order, and each stage can have one or more jobs that run at the same time. This hierarchy is brilliant because it gives you both a logical structure and a ton of efficiency. Now let's see how this is all defined.
So how do you actually tell GitLab how to build this assembly line? It all lives in one single file, right in the root of your project called .gitlab-ci.yml. This simple text file is the master blueprint that tells GitLab exactly what to do with your code.
And this is what it looks like in the real world. You can just feel the flow here, right? We have a build step, then a testing step, and finally, a deploy step. Let's break down exactly how this file makes that happen.
See this stages section up top? This is where you lay down the law. You're defining the major stations of your assembly line, and just as importantly, their order. By listing build, test, then deploy, you're guaranteeing that your pipeline always follows that exact sequence.
Then, for each task or job, you just assign it to one of those stages. So here, our deploy job is assigned to the deploy stage. And inside that, you have the script section. This is the good stuff. These are the actual command line instructions that are going to be executed.
Okay, so we've designed the blueprint for our assembly line. But what actually does all the heavy lifting? Let's talk about the engine that powers this whole thing, the runners, artifacts, and the cache.
The GitLab runner is the absolute workhorse of this system. It's just a machine, could be a server, could be a virtual machine, could even be a Docker container that's waiting for work. It picks up a job, runs the script, and reports back. It is literally the robotic arm on our digital assembly line.
Okay, so what if your build job creates a finished program? How does the deploy job get its hands on it? That's what artifacts are for. An artifact is just the output of a job that gets saved and passed down the line to the next stages. It's the finished part moving from one station to the next.
Now, caching is different, but it's just as important. Instead of passing things between stages, a cache saves files, like big libraries you had to download, to speed up future runs of the pipeline. It's like keeping your tools right next to your workstation so you don't have to go fetch them every single time you start a new project.
So let's nail this down, because this trips a lot of people up.
Artifacts are for passing the results of a job to the next stage, all within one pipeline run. The cache is for speeding up future pipeline runs by reusing things you've already downloaded. Understanding that difference is absolutely key to building fast, efficient pipelines.
All right, let's put it all together. When you combine a really well-defined pipeline, some powerful runners, and smart use of artifacts and cache, what you've created is an automated superhighway that takes your code from a simple commit all the way to a running application in the cloud.
And this is where that all-in-one approach from GitLab really shines. It has these amazing superpowers built right in. You can build Docker images and store them in GitLab's own registry, deploy your app directly to Kubernetes, and even run automated security scans, and it's all defined in that one .gitlab-ci.yml file. It's fantastic. So knowing the components is one thing, but building truly great pipelines is a whole other skill. Let's quickly go over some best practices and some of the common mistakes you'll want to avoid.
Look, if you want to build pipelines like a pro, you got to focus on speed and security. Use caching so you're not wasting time re-downloading things over and over. And please, never ever put passwords or API keys directly in your YAML file. Use GitLab's built-in variables for that stuff. And remember, your pipeline configuration is code. Treat it that way and keep it in Git. And on the flip side, here are the classic mistakes we see all the time. Building one giant slow pipeline that tries to do everything at once is a recipe for disaster. Forgetting to cache is just throwing away time and money. And hard-coding secrets is a massive security risk. Just avoiding these few things will put you miles ahead of the game. So, to wrap it all up, we've seen that GitLab CI/CD is this powerful integrated system built around that core idea of a digital assembly line. We've got our pipelines, our stages, and our jobs. We know the runners are doing the work. The bottom line is, by really mastering this one tool, you're not just learning a product, you are mastering the exact patterns used in enterprise-grade software delivery across the industry. And that brings us to the final question. You see, having great code is only half the battle. The other half is having a reliable, automated path to get that amazing code into the hands of your users. So I'll just leave you with this thought. Your code is ready. Is your pipeline?